Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing how we did on our budget for April 19th through May 2nd, I believe. So let me go ahead and flip through that right now. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull everything out, including the expense trackers and the actual budget. Scooch that to the side. Alright, so first I'm going to go through our fixed expenses. Most of them, if not all, are the same. Sorry, that got really blurry. Alright, so I did put how much we actually made on the 19th, so that's $491.11 more than what I had budgeted for, because I got paid more than I expected. Internet is $50, so I'm just going to put that in. Our dental is a sinking fund, so I put 70. Our mortgage was $735.49. I didn't pay anything extra to it yet. Health insurance is $159.11. Pest control is a sinking fund, $33. Electric was $125. Trash is also a sinking fund, so that's $24. Betterment comes directly out of my not my paycheck, but my bank account. As soon as my paycheck hits, I have it set to automatically pull out, so kind of forced investing in there. So that's $250. So everything is the exact same on the fixed expenses this pay period, which is $1,446.68, assuming I did my math right last time. Now I have all of our variable expenses. So I have all my trackers ready and added up and everything. We did pretty good with groceries. We were under. I don't know, my last video I went over, I think like $100 and something. I don't remember. I can't remember how much I went over, but I went over by a lot. So it was much nicer to not go over. So we had $278.80 that we spent, and then $101.20 that was left over. So I'm going to put that down, $278.80, $880, and $101.20 is what we had left. $101.20. Okay, restaurants. Let's see. Restaurants and eating out, we spent $20.95. This is my husband getting lunches and things when we don't have leftovers from the night before's dinner. So $20.95 is what we spent. And $405 is what we had left. Gas. Let's see. Gas, we spent $97.64. We had $236 left over. $97.64. $236 left over. Alright, next one is actually mine first. My expense tracker. I did order some whiteout and label tape from Walmart, and that's what I got. I still have to pick that up from Walmart. So I spent $27.87, and then that means I have $40.13 left over. My husband spent nothing, so he has $53.10 left over. Next one is entertainment. We spent $214, and we have $786 left over. That was just us renting a movie on Redbox. My husband got a haircut, which was $17, and it left us $3 left over. And then miscellaneous. In miscellaneous, we spent $188.07. $188.07. 07. We have 128.10 left over. So that was all of the variable expenses for this month. So we actually, all in all, did really well, especially compared to last month. Last month was not great. So I'm going to add everything up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add up everything that we have left over and then just subtract it out, because that's what I care most about, how much money we have left. Now, if I did cash envelopes, again, I wouldn't have to necessarily keep an expense tracker, but since I don't do cash envelopes anymore, I like to see where all of our money is going. And I mean, even if I did an expense or cash envelopes, I'd still want to write down everything just to see where everything's going. But it's especially necessary when you don't do cash envelopes, and to do it regularly. Keep track of everything you're spending regularly. I try to do it every night. I don't always. So there are, you know, some nights that I don't do it. But I try and make up for it the next night, so I can just kind of keep my pulse on where we are as far as money that we have. And also, I try and always keep $1,000 in my bank, and that's not part of my emergency fund. That's just the cushion that I'm comfortable with. Not that I've ever needed that much, but I figure since I don't have credit cards, you know, we don't do credit cards. We haven't done them in, I don't know, like 12 years, maybe 11 years. I haven't had a credit card in like 11 years. Since we don't have credit cards, that's kind of my buffer. Like, some people use credit cards as their like emergency type situation. And that's technically what your emergency fund is supposed to be, but sometimes it's harder to get that money quickly. Mine is in an online savings account, so I can't get it like within, you know, a day. I do have a debit card for one of them, my car one for car repairs and stuff, but for the most part, I want it to be a little bit harder. Not really hard, not penalty wise like in a CD or anything like that, but I want it to be a little bit harder to make sure it's actually an emergency. It's something that, you know, I really need to get. So I use that $1,000 in place of having a credit card. You know, people use credit cards, the just in case kind of thing. So that's my just in case, is my $1,000 buffer in the bank account. So I do have that buffer that I've personally chosen to keep. That's the job I've given that $1,000 to. So a lot of people have that misconception with the every dollar type thing, that like you should have $0 in your checking account at the end of the month because all of your bills are being paid and this and that and the other, which is great if you're comfortable with that. But really every dollar is just giving each dollar a job, and the job of that $1,000 is to make me feel comfortable, and so that I don't feel the need to pull out of my emergency fund if I go over a little bit on something. It's my buffer, and that's the job of that money to me. So that's just how I do it. That's just a personal preference. But yeah, anyhow, so I'll just add all this stuff together. Okay, so we have $339.80 left over. So I'm just going to subtract that from here to see the total of what we spent instead of adding all that stuff up. So if my math is right everywhere else, that should work fine. So 972.27. So we spent $632.47 on variable expenses this pay period. All right, so carryover, things that I'm going to carry over. I'm not going to carry over anything for groceries. I will for restaurants, just because it's not a huge number anyway, and it's a nice little buffer, I guess. I usually don't, but I'm not for gas. Pocket money, I usually do because I like my money. $53.10 for my husband. Entertainment, I don't feel the need to. Let's see, what's next pay period? Next pay period, I have a lot of birthdays coming up. So not that that necessarily would pull from entertainment, but I know my son wants to go do something called Treasure Island Fun Center. It's like a arcade type thing, but that's not till the end of the month, so I think I'm good there. Personal care, I don't carry over. Miscellaneous. I will carry over, I'll carry over maybe $50 of that and put the rest in towards paying extra to my mortgage. I can't talk. All right, so carrying over $405 plus $40.13 plus 53, oh, is that 53 or, yeah, 53.10, can't read my own handwriting, and $50. So I'm going to carry over into my quote-unquote cash envelopes, variable expenses, $147.28, and that'll come into play when I do the review part on the back. So, all right, total fixed bills budgeted, I have $1,446.68. 1,446, what did I say, 68? 68. And the actual was the exact same, 68. All right, total variable expenses. I had budgeted $972.27. 972.27. And then my actual is $632.47. 632.47. So let's see. So this one should equal 2,000 plus the $418.95 that I carried over from my last paycheck to paycheck budget. And if you don't watch that one, the reason I carried that over is that this pay period is bill heavy. It has my mortgage payment, my health insurance, all that stuff in it. So I knew I would need some of the money on the previous pay period that was lighter as far as bills to cover this one. So it's really important to not just spend everything you have, you know, in each pay period without analyzing where your bills are, like which is bill heavy during that pay period. I really like a month or a paycheck to paycheck budget as opposed to a general month to month, but that is something to keep in mind. Also, I don't know if you've noticed the lighting is terrible, but my light is like dying. So I'm just making do with what I got right now. So I'm sorry for that. But we'll do the best we can. So 1,446.68 plus 972.27. All right, 2,418.95, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. Okay. And then my actual expenses were 1,446.68. 1,446.68 plus 632.47. All right, so 2,079.15. So if I didn't have that little buffer, I'm gonna zoom you in. I think that's wrong way, kind of far. Sorry if you guys couldn't read anything I was writing before. If I didn't have that money that I carried over from the previous paycheck to paycheck budget, I would have been unable to pay everything that I paid this month. Not by a ton, by $80, but still that's, you don't want to, you know, overdraft on anything and be late on any kind of bills and, you know, incur fees or anything like that. So that's why I, you know, had that built-in budget, because I knew it was a possibility. So, and it was. Even though I spent less than what I had budgeted as far as variable expenses, it still would have been over. So anyhow, total income plus the carryover, which is what I talked about before, that carryover from the previous pay period, was $2,418.95 minus the total expenses, which is $2,418.95. So it's $0. All right, so this side, total income plus carryover. So that is this number, wow, the lighting is getting worse and worse and worse, so I'm super sorry. I'm going to try and finish this as quickly as possible. 2,491.11 plus the 418.95. So that puts me at $2,910.06. $2,910.06 minus my total actual expenses, which is here. Move that up a little bit. God, this is getting so much worse. I'm so sorry. Okay, so that is $2,079.15. So minus $2,079.15. So I have $830.91. $830.91. All right, so I am not putting anything in my emergency fund because I'm fully funded for now. What did I say? I was carrying over $405 in restaurants. I am carrying over $40.13 in my money. And $53.10 in my husband's. And I was going to carry over $50 for miscellaneous. Alright. Okay, so next pay period is not bill heavy, so I'm not going to carry anything over for next pay period. So I didn't need to delete that. 830.91 minus 405 minus 40.13 minus 53.10 minus $50. So that leaves me $683.63 to put towards like my mortgage or sinking funds and things like that. So I'm going to write that down over here. $683.63. So yeah, I'm going to divide that through my various things. I need to put stuff towards our vacation sinking fund because my family, again, is going to the Keys in the end of June, beginning of July for 4th of July. So that stinks. I just realized that I'm not going to be with them on 4th of July. So that kind of blows. But, so yeah, that is pretty much it. We did pretty good, I'd say. I made more than what I thought I was going to make. We had enough buffer from the previous pay period. So I'm going to put quite a bit of that towards my mortgage and start knocking that out a little bit, chipping away at that. And yeah, that's about it. Sorry, the lighting just progressively got worse and worse and worse, but you know, it is what it is. I need to invest in some actual lighting. Like, I am literally using the most ghetto light fixture for these videos, which typically works okay, but I think it's done. Like, its lifespan is over, so I need to look into actual lighting that's meant for video recording, but whatever. I'm on a budget, so I used what I had, and what I had was not very good. So anyhow, that is done. My next video will be on setting up my budget for next pay period, which is the 3rd through the 16th. So I will see you guys shortly. Thanks. Bye.